So, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all expected, I'm going to introduce you to Ana Luisa Silva. Ana Luisa, I actually have known her for basically 10 years. She used to have a great blog. She writes really well. And she is a post-PhD person, scientific researcher turned IT service desk agent. And she's going to tell us what happened, what happened in her life to make this transition as smooth as possible. And I think you're going to like her story. So I will stop share now. Let me see. Ana Luisa, are you there? Do you want to unmute yourself?
Mute. Hi. I'm here. Hello.
Hello. I'm going to mute my...
Hi. So my name is Ana. I'm here to talk about identity, and I was very surprised when Rafa invited me, because I'm not a creative as a profession. So that was kind of, whoa, Creative Mornings, why? What am I doing here? But to talk about identity, who am I? I'm a lot of stuff. I'm a woman. I'm a daughter. I'm a feminist. I'm a former blogger. I'm a crazy cat lady. So you will see cats running up and down the stairs, and actually a stray cat that just decided to adopt my house and eat from my food entered just a few minutes ago, which is always like an event. So I'm going to start by talking a bit about me. So about all these things, some of them are who we are based on others, but some is based on who we are ourselves. And for instance, I'd like to define myself as a learner, because I always love to learn, and this is what I've been doing all my life. So as you probably saw in the bio, I was born in Monterey, California. It's a little town. Yes, the one from Big Little Lies and John Steinbeck's novels. That's the one. There's a nice aquarium there. However, I came to Portugal very early, so I have no recollection of that at all. I lived here all my life. I studied bioengineering and then mastered in biotechnology at Instituto Superior Técnico, Lisbon. And afterwards, I was granted a scholarship or a grant to do an internship in San Francisco, Genentech, which was a dream come true. 8 months living in Noe Valley. It was amazing. One of the best experiences in my life, because it's an amazing city and I got to know a lot of amazing people. And afterwards, I went to Holland, to the Netherlands, to begin my PhD in cancer vaccines. I also lost my mom to cancer after a kind of difficult and painful 4 years. But this talk is not about the grief of losing people we love. It's about losing oneself. So here's my story. All those studies, I finished my PhD in the Netherlands. I returned to Portugal, eventually met my ex-boyfriend, fell in love, blah, 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 yada, yada. We moved in together. Everything was awesome. We had a nice house with a big garden and the dog and the cats. And eventually I got a job as a postdoc at the Faculty of Pharmacy. So life seemed good, right? What could go wrong? Well, everything, basically. So In the end of 2017, my whole life crumbled. In the space of a month, like the cutest cat in the world died tragically. My boyfriend, who I thought was the love of my life forever, broke up with me. I left home the next day to come to my parents' house, and then my grant ended, my postdoc grant. So I became unemployed, and I didn't get the grants I had applied to. So at that moment, I was like, "What the fuck? My life is over. I lost my ground. So what?" So because I was so lost at the time, I decided that maybe I should go and seek therapy because, well, it's been a lot of traumatic events. And I did. And as I was sitting on the waiting room from the psychologist, I started to feel a bit weird, a bit dizzy. So I went and knocked on the door, and I was like, like I'm not feeling so well. Is there like a pharmacy nearby? Because like maybe like my blood pressure is off, something like that. And well, that was the beginning of my first and biggest panic attack. So while I was going to the pharmacy to get my blood pressure measured, I was just thinking, oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm dying. I'm dying at this moment. Like I'm having a stroke or I'm having a heart attack. And like, I really didn't need this right now. Like, it's just like everything is like it is. Now I'm becoming a vegetable or something, or dying in the middle of the street in Lisbon, which was, and what about my dad? Poor guy. Like, knowing that I died alone in the street. At that moment, I arrived to the pharmacy. I was way too far gone with the hyperventilation. So I also stopped feeling my legs and my hands. So I was like, and thinking also, oh my God, I'm going to stay like this forever. So they had no other option than to call an ambulance. So here I was on an ambulance to the hospital and then put on a wheelchair, and waiting there pathetically without being able to walk and move my hands because that's what hyperventilation does. And that was like, okay, this is my lowest. Is like, if I have to go down, I go down big, like ambulance, all that. Well, of course, I was then diagnosed with depression, with anxiety disorder, which I have until now. But therapy really does help also. So that helped me at least to become a highly functional person, or at least I think so. Vargas, I don't know, he might disagree, but because he gets all my crazy. But still, well, I became a bit more functional at that point because everything in my life was so wonderful and everything was going so well. Well, I broke my ankle. I had to have surgery, and I stayed a month lying down. At that moment, as you can imagine, staying at home for 1 month with a person just diagnosed with depression was awesome. So I did the most logical thing to do, which was to adopt 2 more cats. Baby cats, come on. They're awesome. You have to understand this. So now I have 4 with a stray one coming in and out. Well, and kind of trying to get a date with one of my female ones, though they're all sterilized. He doesn't know. Well, this was like my total fall. What a disaster, right? When I started recovering, I started looking for jobs and all. And then I was offered a position as an assistant professor. Oh, that sounds good, right? Well, it was only a part-time, 3 times a week, in Peniche, which you don't know, but it's 120 kilometers from my house, and for the amazing salary of 300 euros a month. That wouldn't be enough to pay for gas. So that was my breaking point, and my, like, fuck it all. Fuck it all, fuck it all. And one friend of mine just told me, send a CV to Fujitsu. I did. And 10 days later, I was working at Fujitsu as a service desk agent. Me, a scholar in biosciences who knew absolutely zero about IT support, having to give IT support. So I never felt so stupid in my life, and I was not really used to feel stupid. I never had felt stupid before, because I also always succeeded so much, but that was really scary, like learning all this from scratch at mid-30s. It's kind of scary, but I decided that I would go and learn and would become the best possible agent that I could, and try to help people solve their problems, because I'm a problem solver. So at the end, it's not that different. I just have to apply what I learned in the past and use it now, not to solve bioscience stuff, but like repair Outlook. Like, oh, my Outlook is not working. I'm awesome at repairing Outlook or doing password resets, by the way. I'm awesome also at repairing other stuff, because I learned. And I learned because I was stubborn. And so I had help from some friends who actually thought I was worth his time or their time to help me, because some people don't care, but I did. And so that was a big change in my life. And I'm still learning and becoming the best agent I could be. And I'm pretty good right now. I think I'm one of the seniors. I was the first sent home as like a lab rat, just to test how it went. So that's how it's going right now. I'm a service desk agent at a IT company. I provide customer support, which is also a challenge. I was not used to work with people at all. And then there's the settling part. What did I take from this? Now, because of my ability to learn, which I applied on my daily job now, I started to be noticed by my trend analysis skills, things like that. And I started to do some tasks to the problem management team. Well, problem management, after a training I had, was like also an eureka moment where I love, that's it. That's what I want to do. Problem. That's research. That's problem solving. That's all I've done in my life. So that's what I want to become. And I went to talk to the team, and they were, okay, we're starting giving you tasks, doing some trend analysis, reporting, and I'm being now developed to become a problem controller and work as problem management team, and which is a step up in my path. So I'm growing in this newfound career. And well, was it easy? No, it wasn't easy. I lost friends. up along this way. Because depression sucks and it's not so fun to be around when you're not in your best. And Philip knows that because he's like my go-to crisis man. Yes, I'm looking at you. I'm kind of lost by now in my script because, well, this is all overwhelming. But anyway, oh, I'm seeing my cousin too. Hi. Hi, Sam. So I lost some friends along the way, unfortunately, because some people didn't agree with some of my life choices. Some people believe what I'm doing now is beneath me, and that infuriates me because no honest job is beneath anyone, and I actually like it. They think that I should maybe be working in finance or business or analysis and stuff like that. I'm like, well, if I like business and I would have gone to economic school and took an MBA. I didn't because I hate it. I really don't like it. So what I like is solving problems. I like learning more. I like being challenged to things that I never knew before. And well, at the end of the day, I learned a lot more about myself. I learned what I like, what I don't like. I learned my boundaries. I learned to set boundaries, which is something that sometimes I didn't because I wanted to please people. Most importantly, I learned to say no. Like, no, I don't want that. I don't care about that. And I'm not doing it just for the sake of pleasing you. So that was important. And as this story comes to an end, because I don't even know how long it has been. Yeah, so great. At the end of the day, who am I? I'm still a girl that likes to learn and solve problems. And as my former PhD supervisor once told me, quoting John Lennon, everything will be okay at the end. And if it's not okay, it's not the end. Thank you. Sorry about anything.
Thank you so much, Anna. Thank you for sharing your story and for showing so much vulnerability. And, this can happen to any of us, in creative businesses and in entrepreneurship. Everything can change, from one day to the other. And that resilience you have shown, and I think they're actually a part of all of us. So it's really inspiring to see someone going through such a transition. I'd like to ask you the first question. So guys, basically we started the Q&A. So we have around 5-10 minutes to ask questions. You can raise your hand and then you can unmute yourself, or I can unmute you. Or you can write on the chat, whatever you feel more comfortable with. So the first question I do have for you is, do you ever mourn the end of your past life?
I mute myself. I do all the time. I'm sorry. This is probably not what people would like to hear most, but yeah, I do, because I was a different person. I changed, of course. Our identity changes with our experiences and our losses, and some people find the positive side of, oh, I don't, it's really sucked. So I was happier. I was a much more trusting, confident person that I am now. I'm trying to become my new me, which I'm still not sure what it is, but I'm still growing and I'm still trying. You're on mute, by the way.
Okay. It's okay. You're the star now, okay? And just any more questions for Anna?
No? Okay. I just see this chat. Well, that's awkward now that I'm...
So everyone is shy, so no more questions, right? People raise your hands. Okay, Tina has a question. Wait, Tina. So I'm going to unmute you.
Hello. It's not a question. It's more like a comment. I just want to tell Anna Luisa that was an inspiring story, and I'm touched. But I just wanted to say that we know, like your story, sometimes we hear about people that have stories of life stories where they have challenged themselves because of something that they have to overcome. And this something is generally something really big as you had to overcome. And my comment is that most of the times we are so focused on what we learn in academic life or what we are programmed to do during our lives that we do not have, how should I say this? We do not understand that we have other skills and other tools that we can use in our life to overcome. You had such a different and a challenge path of life until one point of your life, and then you started from scratch a different life, and now you really enjoy your life. You told us that you enjoy your life. You say that you enjoy solving problems, you enjoy your job. There's a lot of things that now that other people from the outside could look to you and say, oh, poor little Anna, she's nothing in her life, oh, poor thing. No, I don't look things like that. I look that, I think that you overcome so much, and you have learned a lot, and most of that you have learned that you have tools and you have skills that you didn't imagine before. Okay? Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you. And just a comment, I usually used to say that the most I took out of college and what we do take out of university is the ability to learn. We learn how to learn, and we learn how to learn fast, because nothing is preparing us for exactly what we're going to do next. We just are given the tools to adapt. I've adapted what I've learned in many times and in many ways. And I think that's the most important, that all our lives we learn and we continue to learn. And if we are faced with a big change, we are able to adapt to it and learn from it as well.
Thank you so much.
We also have one question from the chat, from Teresa, who asked, when you lost friends, do you think they were real friends or just friends that were good for a specific time in your life?
And this is a hard thing. I lost a 20-year-old friendship because at a point I had to set boundaries, and that person didn't accept it. Unfortunately, mental illness is still stigmatized, and people don't understand it. So I would have to hear the bullshit like you have to make an effort. You know, I'm like, I have already made an effort to get out of bed and shower and get dressed and be here to hear you say bullshit that you have no idea what you're talking about. And I had to set some boundaries. She didn't accept, unfortunately. So that was very hard. But at a point when friends or people you consider friends use your mental illness in order to shame you or to win a fight, like go take your pills or things like that, they're disrespecting you. And that's something that I don't allow. I have a mental illness. I suffer from anxiety. I own it. I don't hide it from anyone because I will never let anyone shame me for it. So at my job, my managers say, no, I may have a panic attack. I have anxiety. I have a mental illness. Don't shame me for that. You can never say that I'm not resilient or whatever to do my job because, oh my God, you have no idea how resilient we are. If you knew how much hard it is some days for us to get out of bed and go to work and still do our jobs when we're feeling like shit, well, that's resilience. And sorry for cursing.
Becky?
Comment. Sorry. Do we still have a bit of time? Maybe. Okay, perfect. Rosemary asks, do you feel hopeful for the future now?
Comparing to like 1.5 years ago, yes. As I said, I did lose friends, but I also made new ones. People that accept me as I am, that take all my crazy. Yes, I'm looking at you. And family and friends that to support me and are totally helping me go through this transition. So now, yeah, like I have a job, which I actually like. Like every time I solve a problem from someone that, like the other day, the guy was facing a problem for 3 months. And then on the phone, I fixed it. And he was so thankful. So it was really rewarding. So I have a future now. I have another career. It's not the career that I first chose. But life changes and we have to adapt.
Hey guys, we have another question. So I think it's Sophia, maybe Sophia from our team, I guess. How much do you think that our work defines who we are?
Well, it's a big part of our lives, of course, because that's the most time of the day we spend at work. So it's important, but doesn't define us as we are. It's what we do. Who we are is a separate thing. So I don't think our job defines us properly, or how much we earn, or what we are inside defines us. A job is what we do. That's it.
Thank you so much, Anna, for sharing all of this with us. We still have some people doing some commenting on the chat. Make sure to read that. I think it's a great discussion. I think we should talk more often about what other people may perceive as failures. And for us, it's just evolution and progress and improving at something.